So as I graduated from high school, I had a choice between two colleges to attend. One was Norfolk State University, located in Virginia, and HBCU, historically black college slash university. And then there was St. Peter's College in Pennsylvania, which was transitioning from being an all female school. Now, I've always been the type to recognize when I could be thinking with my junk. So I decided to go to Norfolk State. But every once in a while, I think, hey, what would things have turned out? How would have things turned out if I decided to go to the all girls school where, seriously, all girls, guys, come on. But, but it's not quite deciding that I was born in the wrong body. So it's a matter of choices, and that's a choice that's clearly on the table for a lot of young people these days. Like, oh yeah, I can choose which body I'm in. Yeah, okay, yeah, sure. But some decide made that choice that hey, I'm in the wrong body, and they decided to switch over. And unfortunately, they've now decided to come on back to their original bodies because at that age, when you're young, man, and you're making choices, you're making decisions, long term ramifications aren't always what's at the forefront of the thought process. You know, like how is this going to affect me long term? What will my life be like? How does this decision or choice aid me in having a future that I want and a future that I'd be proud of, you know? And it's tough choices out there. It really is. So to have a hang up such as that over your head, I can't relate. I really can't. But we got this piece coming to us from Sky News. Hundreds of young trans people seeking help to return to original sex. A woman who detransitioned in 2018 says there are many people who have gender reassignment surgery who wish they hadn't. This is written by Sally Lockwood, who's definitely a 35 percenter. North of England correspondent. Okay, and it's filed under their LGBT stuff. And this is the woman that they always toss on the glasses, cut the hair short, and look like an IT guy or something like that, right? Hundreds of young transgender people are seeking help to return to their original sex. A woman who is setting up a charity has told Sky News. Charlie Evans, 28, was born female but identified as male for nearly 10 years before detransitioning. The number of young people seeking gender transition is at an all-time high, but we hear very little, if anything, about those who may come to regret their decision. There is currently no data to reflect the number who may be unhappy in their new gender or who may opt to detransition to their biological sex. Charlie detransitioned and went public with her story last year and said she was stunned by the number of people she discovered in a similar position. I'm in communication with 19 and 20-year-olds who have had full gender reassignment surgery who wish they hadn't, and their dysphoria hasn't been relieved. They don't feel better for it, she says. And there are studies that do insinuate this. They don't know what their options are now. Charlie says she has been contacted by hundreds of people seeking help, 30 people alone in her area of Newcastle. I think some of the common characteristics that they tend to be around their mid 20s, they're mostly female and mostly same sex attracted and often autistic as well. She recalls being approached by a young girl with a beard who hugged her after giving a public talk, who explained she was a detransitioned woman too. She said she felt shunned by the LGBT community for being a traitor, so I felt I had to do something. Charlie is now launching a charity called the Detransition Advocacy Network, with their first meeting set to be held in Manchester at the end of the month. Sky News went to meet one person who has contacted Charlie's network for help. She does not want to be identified. We have changed her name. Ruby. Really? That's the name you guys giving her? Give her something cool. Give her something like Sapphire if you're gonna be like, switching out the details. Is now 21, but first began to identifying as male at 13. Yeah, but like probably before she developed and was like, oh wait, there's a lot of benefits to being a chick now, aren't there? After taking testosterone, her voice got deeper, she grew facial hair, and her body changed. She had been planning to have surgery to remove her breast this summer. However, in May, Ruby voiced the growing doubts she had been harboring and made the decision to come off testosterone and detransition to identify as female because, yeah, that's how you were made, my guy. I didn't think any change was going to be enough, and in the end, I thought it was better to work on changing how I feel about myself than changing my body, said Ruby. There you go. I mean, I'm really curious about the parental status of a lot of these people. Like, do you orphan, or do you have both your parents, or is one of your parents? Because I mean, I can't sit here and say, oh yeah, well, just because you have a father there, it's gonna change anything. Because a lot of guys are super feminized, and they think in this process was like, it's my baby girl, whatever my kid wants, whatever my kid wants, whatever my kid wants. And I'm sorry, that's just I've seen similarities in the way I experience gender dysphoria and the way I experience other body images. Ruby explains that she also has had an eating disorder, but does not feel that issue was explored in the therapy session she had when she went to gender identity services. Yeah, because you went to gender identity services, not eating disorder places. When I was at my gender clinic, Jesus, to get referred for hormones, we had a session where I went over my mental health issues and I told them about my eating disorder, and they didn't suggest that could maybe be connected with my gender dysphoria, says Ruby. My gender clinic, golly. And it's such pseudoscience, guys. It really is. It's such bunk pseudoscience with no real biological sex, man. Biology. Stay there. For everyone who has gender dysphoria, whether they are trans or not, I want there to be more options for us because I think there is a system of saying, okay, here's your hormones, here's your surgery, off you go. I don't think that's helpful for anyone. No, because they need to rush you through those things so you can be amongst their numbers. That's the thing. The people who push this nonsense, the people that push this ideology and this completely pseudoscience of gender, like they need you to have that doubt for half a second, and they need to capitalize on that doubt instead of trying to talk you down or trying to talk you to a place of reason. The Tavis Scott and Portman NHS Trust offers gender identity services for children under 18, with some parents as young as when some patients as young as 3 or 4 years old. And I said parents because subconsciously, where are they? Where are they? Tavistock and Portman NHS Trust. You guys are terrible. You are that's some evil shit, particularly when it comes to we were talking about gender reassignments and children. Kids who just do not have the capacity to make such choices for themselves. They now have a record number of referrals and see 3,200% more patients than they did 10 years ago, with the increase for girls up by 5,337%. Are you freaking kidding me? And this is what you want my son to have to deal with? Oh my God, no. This is ridiculous. With referrals at a record high, it suggests cases of detransition will rise too. Yeah, you think? Like, there's not a soul on this earth that didn't have a thought at 8 that they now consider to be a bad thought. Oh, okay, that was pretty ridiculous. Like, particularly when you're 6 or 7. One time, you know what? Myself as an example, I once ate a crayon, a brown crayon, because in my brain, it seemed as if, yeah, it's reasonable that this could taste like chocolate. Like in my brain, it was just like, what? This seems reasonable to taste like chocolate. Bit into it, realized, oh wait, no, that's not how that works. So I'm gonna not do that again, and moved on with my life. And that's the way things are supposed to operate. But when you live in this participation trophy award world, I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry for everybody. In a statement, a trust spokesperson said decisions about physical interventions made in our care are arrived at a thought a thorough exploration process are arrived at after a thorough exploration process. I'm sorry for screwing that up. While some of our patients may decide not to pursue physical treatment or drop out of treatment, the experience of regret described here is rarely seen. Bullshit. Gender transition has positive outcomes for many people, and even talking about detransition is viewed by some as transphobic. And when you're not allowed to talk about it, that means that they have something to hide. Right or wrong. If you're not willing to have the conversation, if you are trying to avoid and deflect and stay away from the conversation, you have something to hide. You know that you do not want critical thought applied to your logic. But some believe further research and more discussion is needed in treating people with gender dysphoria, as well as more options for them than gender transition. Man, just stop making people, please. Like, if you ain't gonna love this person that you have inside of you, both men and female, because men carry the seed, female carry the eggs. It's just like a fish, right? Fish just drop their eggs, and the guy comes through, sprays them, and they keep it pushing. Up life. But the deal is that if you ain't gonna care about that person enough to have the whole shebang there for them, the family and the house and all that other stuff, don't have them. That's how we fix this. Because we need people that want to raise and guide people, making people. And what we have is just, hey, yeah, go ahead, get pregnant, have fun. Oh, there's going to be somebody. If a man won't take care of you, the government will, woman. And that is nonsense and bullshit. And it's led to this. Our welfare states helped create this, whether you want to realize it or not. So, with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like, dislike, yeah, go ahead, do that too. I ain't scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice and want to get videos like this every single day. Share because sharing is caring. And YouTube and bitch shooting like, it's complicated. And speak, let me know, what do you think in the comments? Like, do you believe anybody has the capacity or the mental stability to make such a decision at such a young age and then rock out with it for the next 20-30 years? Because whether you realize it or not, yeah, that's a pretty long time when it comes to our lifetimes and our spans of existence as human beings. That 20-30 years is a pretty long time. A lot of people don't make it to the total to these ages, bro. So let me know what you think in the comments, and until the next one.